for me, the underdog story, this woman
Mm,
in a country where in a male-driven sport where everything tells her that she is destined to fail or has to work 10 times as hard as everybody else.
right.
I think that was really exciting to me. Also being able to do an entire film in Farsi, I think was really exciting to me, being that I am of Iranian descent. And Guy just had such a clear vision of wanting to tell such an important story and co-directing with Czar, I think it's just so important to have that unity and in a time where it's just so much divide. I really, really appreciated being part of a project with two people working together with the same goal in mind, with so much love and so much passion. It was very, very exciting for me. I was given a good amount of tools. Guy gave me some tools. I had direct access to speak directly with, forgive me, I'm forgetting her name right now. But she was somebody who was part of the Judo association who aided a similar situation that had occurred. I was able to speak to her, and I also, I was flooded with stories that were happening in Iran,
Mm,
real athletes and people and situations that were happening at the time of us shooting the film during the Woman Life Freedom movement that were, very, very easy for me to access, as well as personal
mm,
relationships that I have with people from Iran, people who have escaped certain situations that they were in. So I think I had many tools. Yeah, I had previously myself, I had about 6 years, 7 years boxing experience. So that
mm.
kind of lent itself to the fighter mentality. I think it was easy for me to slip into not that judo's easy by any means, but
Right, right, right.
I had a bit of knowledge and understanding of grappling. And, I had done some jujitsu at that point. And then I started training for about 4 months with the Hollywood Judo Academy, which Philippe and everybody there, they were instrumental in choreographing our fight scenes as well as, teaching me the basics and somehow getting me to appear as a black belt
Mm,
in the span of 4 months' time. And then from there, we had the entire Georgian women's judo team at our
mm.
disposal, choreographing the scenes with us. And,
Wow, really?
some very real decorated fighters were actually in the film as well. Just absolute incredible athletes that I was able to learn from and work with. So I think, yeah, it was a great learning experience. I mean, I got such a quick course
Mm,
in terms of fundamentals, then straight into choreographing the fight scenes. But I do know that they're really technically sound. Like I know they're very like their technique is very on point in comparison to other places. They really stress like learning correctly and repetition, and so I think that is really important for them. But yeah, they really just were able to somehow teach me the mechanics of everything and then immediately get me into choreographing the fight scenes. They were wonderful. Yeah, it's funny because I mean the film obviously is like high stress and intense and high stakes, and I feel like a lot of that was kind of what we experienced in real life. Like when I met her, everything happened so fast.
right.
We had very little time, and every minute counted. Sometimes we'd meet for like an hour at a time, which were not many meetings before we arrived to Georgia, where we actually shot the film.
Mm,
But I met her in Los Angeles for the first time, and I think what was important for us first was to get to know each other as people, to then build on that relationship as coach and athlete. And she was just so helpful in so many ways from, from lending her stories to me about the culture as well as seeing her switch off between being director and being actor. It was really such a treat. I saw many sides to her. I think she was very she was very committed to telling the truth of the story and of the culture and of the situation, which I really admired and was grateful for. And also, she still held some of the magic when we were acting opposite each other. So that was really special. I think really it just felt like family. They felt like, brother and sister, just completely open with each other, never holding back if there was a note or something that needed to be changed or fixed or another idea. I think it was very collaborative right from the beginning. I think they were both very excited to be, this Iranian Israeli duo coming together to tell a really important story. And yeah, I mean, obviously Czar is Iranian, so she really was our backbone in terms of the cultural um, facts of the story. And then Guy, had a wonderful vision, and they kind of just crossed over in every which way. And I think we found that there's a lot more similarities between the two cultures than anyone would think. It was a challenge that I actually quite enjoyed in the sense that we were confined to really tight spaces as well. Like we were 12 to 14 hours a day underground in this giant auditorium, like where they held many grand slams, I believe, even in Georgia. And there were low ceilings and tight hallways, tight corridors that really added to the confinement of the character, of Layla's character. And
Right.
I think it really just added to the story. And yeah, we faced many challenges in terms of like, how do we shoot around this? And that was part of our plight all the time, but I think we managed to do a pretty good job. I did. I was able to talk to a few athletes who prefer to remain anonymous,
Mm,
who have been in situations, where it was their family or their career, and the stories were absolutely incredible. The lengths that these people go to protect their families and also to fight for their truth and to tell their story and
mm.
yeah, that was super informative for Leila. I think I observed many athletes in their matches, like certain techniques, certain things that they would do prior to, getting out there and whether it
Mm.
was a verbal exhale of sort that Layla would do often before she would go out into the match. As well as just like the way they walk, the way they stand. So observing just like their general physicality was really big for me. Um, and yeah, I have not yet had any feedback from the Japanese standpoint, but I would be very open to it. I think I really want everyone to just, understand the gravity of the situations that some
Mm.
people are in and the lengths to which people will go to fight for what they believe in and to protect their people as well as to succeed in what it is that they love most, like being athletes. Their goal is to win, and they train their entire lives for this moment. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that
mm,
in some parts of the world it's not as easy as others. And I think to bring light to that is really important for me.
mm. Well, thank you so much for your time, Ariane. I had a good time talking to you. Great.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, Nobu. Nice to meet you.